You started this journey with so much hope. You read about the discipline, the clarity, the power that comes with retention, and something inside you said, yes, this is what I need. But somewhere along the way, without even realizing it, you started doing things that quietly worked against everything you were trying to build. And that silent sabotage is exactly what we need to talk about today. It's the hidden friction that slows your progress until you eventually stall. To understand why we sabotage ourselves, we have to look at the brain. Our biology is hardwired for the path of least resistance, especially when it comes to dopamine. Habits are not just actions. They are neural pathways carved into your brain through repetition. Every time you give in to an urge, you strengthen that physical bridge. Transitioning requires literal restructuring. Every moment of restraint is a repetition for your prefrontal cortex. You are literally training your brain to prioritize the future over the present. This is the foundation of all high-level success, from financial wealth to spiritual peace. When you stop a high dopamine habit, your brain's baseline drops. You enter a deficit state where everything feels gray, heavy, and pointless. This is the danger zone. In this void, your mind will search for any reason to return to the old ways. It will create reasons that sound like logic, but are actually just cravings. The first mistake almost everyone makes is treating retention as just not releasing, instead of redirecting that energy somewhere meaningful. If you're holding back but spending your days scrolling mindlessly, sleeping in, avoiding your goals, you are not practicing retention, you are practicing stagnation. The energy you save has to go somewhere, and if you don't give it a purpose, it will find its way back to the exact urges you're trying to escape. This is the law of transmutation. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. You aren't just stopping a habit, you are reallocating your life force. This energy is the same force that fuels world-class art, scientific breakthroughs, and deep craftsmanship. When you refuse to leak this power, it pools within you, waiting for a creative outlet. Use it. Another deeply painful mistake is isolating yourself emotionally while doing this. So many men go through this path completely alone, refusing to talk about their struggles, their relapses, their shame, and that silence becomes heavier than the practice itself. It becomes a burden. The journey is lighter when shared. Finding a brotherhood, a small circle of men who hold you to your highest standard, is the ultimate safeguard. In the presence of truth and accountability, the shadows of secrecy have nowhere to hide. You were never meant to carry this transformation in secrecy, because secrecy is where guilt grows roots and slowly poisons your motivation from the inside. You also need to be honest about how you're tracking progress, counting days obsessively, refreshing apps every hour, feeling broken the moment a streak resets. This turns a spiritual and mental practice into a punishing scoreboard. The moment retention becomes about numbers instead of growth, you lose the peace you were chasing. You start measuring your worth by a counter instead of your character. Remember, the goal isn't just a high number, it's the man you become along the way. True change happens when you stop being a man trying to quit and start being a man who doesn't do those things. It's an identity shift, not a willpower battle. Willpower is a finite resource. It's like a battery that drains every time you make a hard choice. You can't rely on it to carry you for years. Identity, however, is effortless. There's also the mistake of ignoring your triggers instead of understanding them. Many people white-knuckle their way through urges without asking why. Loneliness, stress, boredom, unresolved emotions, these are often the real root. If you don't face them honestly, no amount of willpower will protect you forever. You can't outmuscle something you refuse to understand. You must go deep beneath the surface of the urge and see what it's trying to soothe or escape. Some men also fall into the trap of expecting instant transformation, as if 10 days of discipline should hand them confidence and charisma on a plate. When that magic doesn't appear overnight, disappointment creeps in. But real change is slow, often invisible, and deeply personal. It's like a forest growing. Expecting instant results only sets you up for unnecessary heartbreak. You must learn to love the process of pruning the garden, even when the flowers haven't bloomed yet. We live in a dopamine-saturated world. Every notification, every video, every swipe is designed to hijack your reward system and keep you in a cycle of craving. This makes retention harder than ever before in history. You aren't just fighting yourself, you're fighting a multi-billion-dollar attention economy. Awareness is your shield. Your environment is your destiny. If your digital world is filled with triggers, your willpower will eventually fail. You must curate your surroundings to support the man you want to be. Another quiet mistake is neglecting your body while focusing only on restraint. If you are not exercising or eating with intention, the energy has nowhere to flow. Digital minimalism is not about removing technology, it's about intentionality. When you reclaim your attention from the infinite scroll, you reclaim your life. You begin to see the world as it truly is, not as an algorithm wants you to perceive it. It builds into irritability, anxiety, even physical tension. Your body was meant to be a partner in this process, not an afterthought you ignore. Give it a task. Sleep properly. Eat with intention. When your physical vessel is strong and rested, the mental battle becomes significantly lighter. You are building a temple for your spirit. Win the morning. Win the day. A disciplined morning ritual sets a psychological anchor that holds you steady through the storms of the afternoon. It is your daily declaration of sovereignty. There is also the painful mistake of comparing your journey to influencers and strangers online who claim superhuman results. It's a false mirror. You start feeling like a failure because your transformation doesn't look as dramatic or as fast as theirs, but you're comparing your healing to their highlight reel. You were never meant to live someone else's timeline. This is your journey, your healing, and your pace. Comparison is the thief of joy and the architect of shame. Many also forget that mental discipline without emotional honesty becomes brittle. You can resist urges for weeks, but if you're suppressing emotions, you're fragile. Hiding pain or refusing to process old wounds is like building strength on a cracked foundation. Eventually, that crack widens and the fall feels far heavier. Writing is a form of externalized thinking. By putting your struggles on paper, you move them from your emotional center to your analytical center. You stop being the emotion and start observing it. You must allow yourself to feel and heal along the way. Strength isn't about being unfeeling. It's about having the courage to face what hurts and moving through it. A subtle but devastating mistake is relapsing once and deciding the whole effort was wasted. That single moment of weakness gets turned into a verdict on your identity. Shame is a parasite that feeds on your progress. Replace it with responsibility. You are responsible for your future, regardless of your past. That realization is where true freedom begins, as if one fall erases every ounce of growth you've built. But progress isn't a straight line, it's a spiral. You might be at the same point, but you're on a higher level. Setbacks are part of becoming, not proof of failure. The men who succeed are not the ones who never fall, they are the ones who refuse to stay down. Stand up again. You must also avoid practicing this in complete rigidity, as if any flexibility makes you weak. Life is not perfect, and circumstances shift. Don't build a cage. Discipline should feel like strength you choose, not a cage you're trapped inside. The moment it feels like punishment, you've lost sight of why you began. Be firm but fluid. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We are talking about the next decade of your life, not just the next 10 days. Adjust your perspective to the long game. Fortitude is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It's the small, consistent no that builds into a massive, life-altering yes to your future self. As your internal world stabilizes, your external world will follow. Your career, your relationships, and your health will begin to reflect the clarity you've cultivated. This is not magic. It is the natural consequence of a man who is no longer at war with himself. If you recognize even one of these mistakes in yourself, please don't feel ashamed, because awareness is the first real victory. You can't fix what you can't see. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply someone learning how to walk this path with more wisdom than before. Your scars and lessons are your strength. Every person who has ever transformed their life started exactly where you are standing right now, uncertain but willing. And that willingness alone makes you stronger. Every time you say no to a lower impulse, you are saying yes to your higher potential. This no is not a restriction. It is an act of supreme self-love and long-term vision. Keep walking, not because it's easy, but because you are worth the effort. The man you are becoming is waiting for you at the end of this path. Don't keep him waiting. If this spoke to you today, know that you are part of a brotherhood of men seeking higher ground. Your presence here matters more than you know. The world needs men who are grounded, focused, and powerful. By walking this path, you are not just helping yourself. You are becoming a beacon for others. Carry that torch with pride. Please consider liking this video and sharing it with another man who might be struggling in silence. Your engagement helps this message reach the people who need it most. Subscribe to join us as we explore deeper into the mind, the body, and the spirit. We are building something together, one step at a time. And if you want to support the creation of these films directly, the thanks button below allows you to contribute to our mission. Every bit helps us tell these stories. Thank you for watching. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and most importantly, stay honest with yourself. We will see you in the next chapter.